Hi!
Hey!
What is up?
We're back!
This is a test!
Right now!
Right here!
Poetry!
Ah! Okay. Hi, I'm Shane Maynard,
I'm Jay Ward.
and I stay striving to keep you thriving. Welcome to the 30 for 30 challenge. Me and Jay Ward are doing a poem every Wednesday. It will be in your inbox for the National Poetry Month Summit. And welcome to week one. Ta-da! So we are taking the strategy of editing a poem a day for the 30 for 30. And we are going to share that with you right now. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first so you don't shame me.
Oh, whatever.
Also, because Shane is being extra and because I'm jealous, she's also writing a new poem every day in addition to editing a new poem a day, which I wish I could do.
Oh, whatever. I get really inspired. And Jay Ward has a 30 for 30 group. If you haven't signed up yet, to be a part of a group, you should totally check his out. It is called Starfish, and it's Starfish 2019?
Yeah, so on Facebook, I think it's actually 2019 Starfish 30 for 30. Something like that.
Definitely join.
Yeah. So this was a poem I wrote probably 2 years ago, and it was called "And a Protest is a Run-On Sentence." The title is new, and I've kind of gutted a lot of this stuff on the inside. So this is the new version of the poem for now. Forever, a protest is just a run-on sentence in a poem someone else wrote, but without gods or hands, and maybe stemmed from a march that turned into a waterfall of bodies pouring over a police car like a wanton flame. But notice, none of the news outlets referred to the protesters as animals or thugs or degenerates, and no one said the aftermath made it hard to take their protest seriously, because really they were just expressing themselves after their football team lost, or their soccer team won, or a statue came down. And who even wrote the sentence, if we are speaking legalities, when a man walking backwards is a threat? Ralph Ellison's gun is a threat. Every shroud that calls us exaggeration is the body cam footage finally released, and is only partial so Fox News can quote Rodney King instead of Martin Luther King. Can't we all just get along like MLK would have wanted? And maybe they don't know what King actually said was a riot is the language of the unheard, because they were too busy not hearing it while the boy dies, or the girl is kicked, or they both die twice and are buried, but not by welcoming earth, but stacks of limbs that were resisting, because justice is irresistible. My question is, if Trump says bad cops are human and make mistakes too, and a cop in the sky is quoted as saying the guy with his hands up looked like a bad dude, and the white supremacist who commits mass murder in a church is taken alive and to lunch, then are we praying to heaven or feeding an idol? Or maybe the question is, how do we do this in a way that makes sense, that stops when it's supposed to? Why are we so afraid to break rules we don't understand for the sake of clarity? Notice my hand is not in this. The lead keeps moving on its own. Notice how tiring it can be not seeing race. How the poems cascade like ceaseless volleys that no one wants to hear anymore and go unheard, become an Exodus labeled beast, make you focus more on the words than the injustice, broken windows than oppression, might expose you as the problem. And I'm pretty sure King said, a hit dog will holler, or maybe I'm misquoting him, but the words never wanted to protest or riot, they just wanted to say, who wrote this poem but you? Who but the zealot who scribes himself holy?
Beautiful, beautiful, Jay. Thank you. Yes. So, as we go through this month, what have you already noticed about editing a poem a day? Like, what's the one thing you've noticed?
It's hard but also fun. I definitely enjoy the editing more than the writing process, because everything is a possibility. My favorite question is what if? So it becomes this infinite line of what ifs for every word and for every sentence, for every phrase. What if it turns this way? What if this is not in it? What if this needs more of this? So I find a lot of fun. It's kind of like putting a puzzle together.
Definitely. I definitely can see that. I edited one yesterday, and I went back today to look over it, and I was like, oh, what if I did this with the poem? And there's just so many possibilities that you can do through editing. And it kind of to me, I feel like it takes the pressure off of having to write a poem a day, but there's like a different kind of pressure. Yeah, because there are so many possibilities. I almost feel like it's a Bandersnatch, don't sue me, of of like writing, because like it can go this way or that way depending on what line you work and what word you change. So it's really incredible. It's a really different, unique way to do 30 for 30. So I am gonna share a new one.
All right.
Because I am being extra and editing a poem a day and writing a new one a day, because I stay striving to keep you thriving. So the new one I'm gonna do is the very first one that I did for April 1st, and no title yet, and it's still a rough draft. It just came out this way, so I will share it with you now. The last time I remember breathing, my mother could still walk from the living room to the kitchen without it tearing apart her lungs. The last time I remember breathing is right before the doctor told me there was nothing they could do for her. The last time I remember breathing, I had just pressed my name tag for Henderson High School on my chest. The last time I remember breathing was holding my breath when I heard you were under arrest. The last time I remember breathing, I was a child standing in a field of gold when Daddy was sober for once. The last time I remember breathing was the breath I held tight against me like the faith of God before walking up to my daddy's corpse. The last time I remember breathing was when I inhaled my first cigarette at 13 after sexual assault. And the last time I remember breathing was when I realized I couldn't from the belt I hung myself with around my throat. The last time I remember breathing was when I realized I didn't need to at all. That the tornado wind that swallows me whole is enough for me to feed my pink jaws on. It's why the mic always tasers itself when I speak. This breath is not mine, as many times as it was taken from me. It's why my voice is a thume from such a small body. Why I pack a punch of fistfuls of fury in every word. Hear ye hear where the wind sings a sting across the sword on my tongue. This breath is not mine. I've been bred a vessel for a hurricane, a flash flood of fighting rain, a lightning bolt for blood, TNT in the clack of my teeth. You can even feel the rumble when silence stills me. The last time I remember breathing was when I found my voice and let it become me.
Wow, that's beautiful, Shane.
Thank you. Thank you.
So same question back to you. So you've done both the writing and the editing. So far this month, what have you noticed about that process, and does one process inform the other?
I definitely feels like it informs the other. If you want to be hella extra like me, you can edit a poem a day and write a new one, and what I found is like it almost feeds off of each other. So you have this like weird dichotomy to where you're like in editing mode, but the editing mode also fuels like a new poem, and then like you can put the new poem down and not feel like you have to edit it because you've already edited a poem earlier that day. So what I've been doing is edit first and then write the new one. And for some reason, like I've felt rejuvenated from it, and I haven't felt as like worn out. You would think it's a lot of work in a day, but I think it's fueling each other, you know, and it's like it keeps it kind of fresh too. So
very cool.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for the next poem being released on Wednesday of this month. And if you haven't, please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know your experience with the 30 for 30 challenge so far. And if there's any tips that we can give you, we will be doing a live Q&A this month. Stay tuned in the emails for that, where you can ask us anything related to poetry, whether it be anything.
Oh man.
Anything.
Great value.
No secrets. So it could be marketing, it could be promotion, it could be how to finish a poem, how to start a poem, things that get you stuck, things that you want to branch out on. Whatever it is, just email us or place in the comments below your question, and we will tackle it during the live Q&A. Thank you so much for joining us, and y'all got this. Keep writing, keep those pens moving.
Do it. You got it.
Thanks.